I am Rob. We are back in the studio together once again.
I'll be doing this episode in the style of a 1950s boxing broadcaster at Madison Square Gardens. Is that okay if I do that like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you want. It's our show. We can do what we want.
Yeah. We only have like 3 people to listen, so if you're one of the 3, call us on the hotline. Let us know if that's okay.
We're 2 of the 3, so just if you're that one person.
I turn it on for my dogs.
When you want them to leave the room.
Yeah, it helps keep them out of the dirty diapers when I'm gone.
I guess that's good.
Because I have a baby. She's 10 months old today, and my dogs, their favorite sport is eating shit out of her diapers. And I can't connect all the dots.
It's good American pastime there.
These are 2 of the smartest dogs I've ever been around, but they worship baby shit. Maybe it's a fetish type thing.
It's the consistency.
Nougat.
It's soft. And
speaking of nougat, I'm all caught up on Stranger Things. I'm not all the way done, but I'm over halfway. I'm towards the end of the new season.
You're getting there.
Fucking just blows my wiener back.
Yeah. I bashed through it pretty quickly.
It was wonderful. You're all done with it?
Oh yeah, I've been done. I think it was like 4 days after it was out that we finished it.
You need to get a fucking life.
And now we're now we're binging Game of Thrones.
I've tried Game of Thrones, and we've said this before that I don't watch it. I just don't think I have the mental capacity to handle it.
There's a lot of shit.
There's too many storylines.
There's a lot of storylines, a lot of characters.
I've tried to watch the first episode approximately 7 times.
Yeah,
no bueno.
Yep, it's rough. You got to get into the couple seasons to actually feel like you're getting used to it.
Yeah. Well, we are really excited for you guys to be here listening again. I cannot put into words how thankful we are.
Very much so.
We are going to go ahead and read some reviews, some new reviews this week. Yay. Starting with Subcap XJ. These guys are awesome. I love the content and comedy. Definitely binge this podcast while drinking some Zima.
Yeah.
Because we are paid spokespersons of Zima.
Heartfey, thank you.
We'll let you take Cujo here.
Cujo 92, disgusting, awful.
You gotta read the headliner there.
Oh yeah, these guys are terrible. 5 stars. Disgusting, awful, crude, and I love every spoopy second of it. Thank you very much.
And we got Fantastic by Michael Higginbotham. What
an awesome last name.
Cool last name. I just get a jersey with my name on it, walk around all the time.
Yeah.
Higginbotham. Here to get some money out. I don't need to sign a fucking slip. Great podcast. The guys are amazing. Super funny and absolutely everything you need in your life. Great mixture of paranormal, true crime, and even some stuff you didn't even know you wanted to know about. We're the kings of useless shit. Useless knowledge.
We have a lot stored. Where you at now? Trill Dill. Absolutely crushing the podcast game. My first episode was Nightmare Death Syndrome, and knew this was my new go-to daily podcast. Brilliantly knowledgeable, yet effortlessly hilarious. Thank you. That's very kind.
That's a splendid review.
Very kind words. Thank you.
We got M. Hirsch. Let's face it, 90% of what these guys talk about is covered by 99% of the other podcasts out there. But what these guys bring to the table is an approachable, albeit juvenile, I resent that, sense of humor to subjects that could be just unbearably terrible to talk about otherwise. I personally love it and can't wait for the next live event. I will be there for sure.
Oh, awesome.
And you can see how fat and stupid we are.
Yeah, thank you.
And the newest one.
Last one, is, I'm guessing it's
H. Linlin.
I'm guessing it's Holly Lynn.
Holly Lynn.
The best podcast. I listen to them on repeat. I have all of my friends listening too. Thank you very much. That's the best thing you guys can do for us.
And that's the most awesome thing you can do is pass us along to your friends.
Share us like herpes.
And we got our Patreon subscribers, Wendy Bezos, Bobby Mulwee, Eric Augustin, Kelly Sansqueeze. I'm sorry.
We're going to fuck these up. This is
Kelly Sansqueeze. I tried. Laura Steele and Valerie Castro, thank you so much for the Patreon donations, guys.
Thank you very much.
And we have lots of friends that talk to us during the week.
We do.
We're very thankful for you guys.
Absolutely.
We talked to some new people this week. Vincent Thiel, Brian Krieg on Facebook, Bobby G, Eric. That's his Instagram name is Bobby G. He talked to us on Instagram. We got Teely Bean. She talked to us about some merchandise. Her husband's interested in doing some merchandise for us. And Chris Widener. he talked to us to let us know that he checked us out on Spotify.
Woo, which we are there.
We're on Spotify now. And some people are Spotify snobs, so the only thing they listen to any audio on is Spotify. And we got, there's lots of people out there that talk to us on a regular basis. Sam Farrell, Mar Woods, Carissa Swanson, all of you guys. Super awesome. And we've got people that have been with us since the beginning, which we really appreciate because we sucked in the very beginning. You guys have stuck with us. Jessica, Pretzel Logic. I love watching videos of her cat on our Instagram story.
Her just being a beast.
Yeah. She picks up all the fucking weight, doesn't she?
Shit, yeah. I just make me look like a little bitch.
Today I looked at my wife and I was like, I think I just want to start trying to lift some weight. And she's like, I wouldn't do that. So, all right.
Yes. I pulled a muscle in my back last week from going to a trampoline park. So, I mean,
yeah, I got a back
I'm only 31. It's fucking crazy.
A back spasm the other day. I was going towards a light. I was starting to reach out and cradle Jesus. I was ready. We could do a near-death episode now.
Yeah, she even put added more wood to the fire, and we were getting ready to go back this weekend. She was like, "Yeah, but it'll be cheaper because you're not jumping this week, are you?" I was like, "What do you mean, am I not jumping?" She's like, "Well, you hurt your back last week." I was like, "Fuck off! I'm gonna
fat slug.
I'm still gonna jump. Don't give me that shit."
And then we got another friend here, Natalie from Toon Mountain Primitive. She's got a little shop. You can check out her awesome stuff. But those are just some of the people that always talk to us. We love talking to you guys. So come talk to us. Leave us reviews on iTunes. We're going to have a Bro Talk episode coming up soon.
Yeah.
You guys, that's going to be a bonus episode for the first time. But then after that, it's for the Patreon subscribers.
Yeah.
The $5 club.
We got a lot of cool stuff we got cooking up right now that if we ever get around to, we'll...
if we can just get off the sauce and get our shit together.
Yeah, we'll get all that together and have something nice and special for you guys.
And now from MK4 Dan, he's an Instagram user. I'm going to let Rob cover this article right here because I think Rob was the one that talked to him on Instagram.
Yeah.
This is one of our funny newspaper articles we want to share with you guys.
Yeah, I think this is the one I was trying to find last week and I couldn't find.
I know, I found it.
Good for you. Headline is, Farting Boyfriend Causes Neighbors to Call Police. Clawson, a concerned neighbor living in an apartment along Maple Road, just west of Livernois. That's like Illinois, but liver.
Sounds like a delicious plate of nothing.
Just west of Livernois Road, called police after hearing what she thought was a domestic violence issue. The neighbor, police said, thought she could hear a female yelling, "Stop," and "No," and possible hitting. Police arrived and learned that the boyfriend would not stop passing gas, and the girlfriend was yelling at him to stop. The report said police cleared the scene expeditiously.
It smells like a bucket of dead frogs in here. I gotta get the fuck out. If there were a microphone in my bedroom, it would hear a very similar conversation.
Oh yeah, I bet.
A lot of times. I've woke her up before. Not on purpose, it just happens,
I've woke myself up. Those are the best ones.
My dogs do that. They fart and wake themselves up.
You think there's an intruder and you just realize you shat a little bit. What the hell was that?
It was
Well, what are we getting into this episode?
It was my chocolate starfish. We are covering the Bunny Ranch in Reno, Nevada, where you can get trashy prostitutes to toss your salad for you.
When your wife won't.
If you're a finger in the booty bitch like Kanye West, you can do that too.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks.
Right. Actually, I think I got my notes mixed up here. We're doing Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, shit. Well, let me pull up the right notes.
I'm going to try and just wing it, because I did all my notes on the Bunny Ranch. And it got some really good combo deals, similar to like a McDonald's value meal. You can get one to poop on you, and another one to put like mustard and ketchup on your feet at the same time, and it's only about $4,000. It really works out at the end.
It's a deal.
But the Skinwalker Ranch, that's in Utah.
Yeah.
There are about 8 people that live in Utah. I'm not exactly sure the exact population. There aren't many.
Yeah, there's not.
Salt Lake City is a beautiful city, though.
Yeah, it is.
I've seen pictures. So the Skinwalker Ranch is located in the Uintah Basin, and it's southeast of Ballard, Utah. It's the ranch is roughly 480 acres. And the family that bought it whenever the nonsense started happening, they did get a very, they got a really good deal on it.
Makes sense.
The people that did live there, they built the ranch in the 1930s, and then they died, and it was vacant for about 7 years. But there's nothing really in the research that says why they died or how they died. It just picks up where the Shermans bought the ranch. So you may find yourself wondering, what is a skinwalker? Well, essentially, it's a shape-shifting being, so it's similar to that of I don't know. It's like a shadow person mixed with an animorph mixed.
An animorph.
I've never read an animorph book. I just know what the covers look like.
Yeah, it's a shapeshifter. I mean, it's something that can take on the appearance of something else.
Yeah. The person possesses the power to turn into and take on all the characteristics of any animal they desire. What animal would you turn into if you could turn into an animal?
Man,
I'd definitely be a sloth.
That's pretty sweet.
Those guys look like they just sleep all day.
Yeah,
and
that'd be pretty cool.
And if I'm not down to fuck, I'm down to sleep. That's pretty much the only thing. Eating, I like eating a lot.
Yeah, maybe I think I'd play it safe and be a dog.
Dog?
Yeah,
I've seen too
much. As long
much.
as I wasn't around Michael Vick, I think I'd be all right.
I've been in the dark.
I'd probably be an ugly dog though, so it'd probably be bad for me.
You'd be a mutt.
Yeah,
3 legs.
I'd be the one eating out of the trash can behind a Domino's.
Dick on your chest. But I've been on the dark webs, and I've seen, dogs get sexually victimized. I've never seen a sloth get sexually victimized.
Maybe a bald eagle. Maybe that's what I'll be.
Oh yeah,
because then I'll be protected.
There's so much freedom.
It's a crime.
Right there.
A crime to kill me. I'm American as fuck.
Don't touch me.
Yeah,
I'm a fucking bald eagle.
Just swooping down, eating rabbits, carrying off little babies. That's what I'll do.
You'd never have to shave ever again because you'd be a bald eagle.
Mm-hmm.
As far as a skinwalker, the most common powers go to the men, whereas women don't normally have the powers to be a shapeshifter, although they can be shapeshifters.
Get on our levels, ladies.
Skinwalkers are most frequently seen as coyotes, wolves, foxes. You can never trust a fucking fox.
No.
Eagles, owls, crows, and they're not creatures to be trusted. All those...
They're pretty shady animals.
And that's the first story we'll start off with. I mean...
I do love owls, though.
Yeah.
They're wise.
Who? Owls.
Who?
Yeah. Some, and the Skinwalker is mostly related to the Navajo Indian tribe. And that's, when I'm reading through all this stuff, the Indians are on a spiritual level that you can't even begin to fathom.
Yeah.
They're so in touch with the universe and the powers that make the universe, turn. I'm not an incredibly spiritual person.
Nah.
But I think the Indians were in touch with something of a higher power.
Yeah, and I do know that they were they were one of, I don't want to say they were the first ones, but the whole legend of skinwalkers was not necessarily derived from them, but they were big believers in the whole skinwalker.
Skinwalking. Yeah. The Navajo believe that skinwalkers have the ability to steal the face of a person, and some believe that if you ever lock eyes with a skinwalker, they can absorb themselves into your body.
That's sexy.
I've been waiting my whole life for someone to absorb themselves into me.
That's love. They just melt into your being.
I'm just like a giant sponge, just waiting for some fluid to absorb into me. No one's taking it. No one's taking the bait.
They don't know what they're missing.
They really don't. My body, I don't bleed like normal people. I bleed biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
That's just what I do.
You're a perfect side dish.
Yeah. And the Navajos say that your body might freeze up
in
fear. Sounds really cool, though.
Yeah.
I would try it. I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Can't knock it.
Except for AIDS. I'm not trying that. But the Skinwalker, they can channel that fear to gain power and energy. And a lot of people believe that the Skinwalkers themselves, all they do is gain more power by more people knowing them. So the more people that know about Skinwalkers, they're just like the fucking plague, man. They just
feed off of it.
And bigger.
Right.
And you may have met a Skinwalker and not known it. That's the thing.
True.
Because the Navajo Indians knew that the Skinwalkers walked amongst them. Okay, they were in the tribe, even to this day, there's a lot of Navajo reservations still around, and they are completely terrified to be outside at night due to the fear of skinwalkers. This is not something to fuck with, Rob.
I wasn't planning on fucking with it, so it's...
We were going to try and interview one, but we couldn't find one.
No one was jumping at the bit there.
Turns out when you Google Skinwalker, you get a bunch of people walking on each other's backs wearing latex and jerking each other's butts off.
How's that one work?
I can't cover it here because I'm not trying to get that label on this podcast, okay?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
There's, you remember that show Loveline back in the day? That guy
Adam Carolla.
And the doctor.
Dr. Drew.
They make a fucking podcast where he talks about, putting your face in the pudding and shit, whatever you need to do. You guys that's a plug for them. They've only got about 18.7 million subscribers, but
they could use the help.
Yeah. But you'll have a hard time getting Navajos to talk about the Skinwalkers as they fear the chance of retribution. There's not really ever been a Navajo Indian that's officially went on record to talk about Skinwalkers. There's a couple drunk ones on YouTube you can check out. I think alcoholism is is very rampant in the Native American community. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they've been stripped of all their rights in their land. I don't know. They've had everything fucking taken away from them for no good reason.
And they just get a casino in place.
Just for being Indians? Yeah. We're going to take away all your water.
Here's a casino.
Have some gold chips. Not corn chips, gold chips.
Yeah.
It is the belief of the Navajo that the Skinwalkers walk freely among the tribe. According to Navajo legend, a Skinwalker is a medicine man or a witch.
Ooh.
Which, again, I'm going to go ahead and say that's nothing to fuck with.
Yeah.
Because those people were in touch with a different dark side.
Yeah, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. But these medicine men and witch doctors were ones that had achieved the highest level of priesthood in the tribe, but chose to use their power for evil by taking the form of an animal to inflict pain and suffering on others. I did read that some Indians would relate to becoming a skinwalker strictly to kind of rectify an emergency situation. So they're under attack, maybe. There was a fear of the white man attacking, so they would kind of sell their souls to become a skinwalker, thinking that they would take on a power that they could, wipe out an entire army of men, not knowing that eventually they would turn bad because all skinwalkers do turn to evil.
Okay. So how do I become a skinwalker? If I wanted to. Not saying that I do.
The only thing this is a lot of the research that I did not get to as far as becoming a skinwalker, but the most popular thing I found was you have to kill a family member that's very close to you. And I think we have a lot of listeners that would probably be willing to do that. We've all got that one cousin.
Yeah.
He's got tattoos on his forearms. He's always killing it. He's got a really cool vape machine. He probably drives like a Beretta or an old Cavalier.
Always buying the used cars.
Yeah. What the fuck what is there to lose by killing that guy?
I'd look the other way.
He's $7,000 behind on his child support. It doesn't matter. Just let him go.
She ain't never seen that.
Pickaxe. I also found, I didn't write this down, but there was also a way to become a skinwalker that involved the crushed bones of an infant.
Oh, okay.
The ground up bones of an infant.
I'm okay on that one.
And you would have to sprinkle it on yourself or whoever you're trying to turn into a skinwalker. And I'm like, man, I'm not even going to fucking write this shit down.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
You just bake a souffle with it sprinkled on top.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you obtain the baby bones. Actually, yeah. I do remember.
I was gonna say, do you have to kill the baby and use the bones, or do you have to just get the bones?
In that area, still to this day, there is an excessive amount of reported stillborn babies.
Okay. And
when the Indian tribes, I guess it was a thing back then as well, that there were still a lot of stillborn babies, and this is kind of what they were doing with these stillborn babies was taking the bones, grinding them up.
Can't waste any of the baby.
No, yeah.
I feel bad for laughing, but it's fucking horrible.
I can't do an Indian accent. I don't even know what they sound like.
That's horribly racist, too.
Yeah.
So
I know they didn't speak English. I don't think. They kind of had their own language.
Yeah.
I am not a Native American expert. But then you have those that do track a skinwalker, and if they do obtain their true identity, they must pronounce the name of the evil one in full. Once this happens, the skinwalker will get sick or die for the wrongs they've afflicted against each person. So once you follow a skinwalker, kind of, hey, dickhead. And if his name's Dickhead, then he's going to fucking die. It's that simple. And like we said before, their power kind of goes along with how many people know about them. They get more power off a collective fear from a lot of people.
Wasn't there some sex demons like that too?
Yeah, I think everything's like that.
Yeah.
I think the government's like that. I think
that's true.
The media's like that. It's just a collective fear. Like, Ebola that was going to fucking kill all of us.
H1N1.
4 years ago. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
They got one lady sick and
a couple other people had diarrhea.
Yeah. Speaking of diarrhea, I'm doing a science experiment right now.
All right.
Those rolled chicken tacos from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I've had them twice now, and each time my body's rejected them. So I had them for a third time tonight. And if it turns out that I get a prolapse again,
okay,
then I am going to chalk it up to the rolled chicken tacos. And I'm going to do a class action lawsuit.
What about the crispy chicken quesadilla? Have you had that yet?
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Is it? Okay,
yes.
Cool.
And I have attorneys on staff.
They're on the Brohio
payroll. Pretzel Logic. She
fucking
picks up everything. She's a lawyer.
True.
But all she does is post pictures of her cat all day. So I don't know if she maybe just a lawyer at her house.
She's her cat lawyer. She's a feline attorney.
Meow, let me ask you a question, Meow.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, God. This is what our fucking lives has become. Legends of the Skinwalker began in the 1800s with reports of the European colonists began moving further west and pushing the Native American tribes out of their land. It was reported that during the Civil War, some members of the Ute tribe took order from Kit Carson. Old Kit Carson.
That's such a good name. That's like an old DJ name.
Hey there, Kit. They took orders from Kit Carson in the battle against the Navajo tribe, therefore resulting in a curse on the land. Local tribes avoid the area at all costs. And I also read stories about the
Kit Carson,
the Navajo that still live around the area there.
Mm-hmm.
They saw that people were moving into the ranch, and they took bets amongst themselves how long the people would live there.
Oh, that's fucked up.
They knew, and those same natives said that for decades upon decades upon decades, that fucking land is completely hexed. Don't go by it. Don't go near it. Don't speak of it. Don't look at it. Don't shit next to it when you're on your travels.
I mean, if it's one thing you learn from horror movies, is that any type of land that was
cursed with Indians,
yeah, you're pretty much fucked on that one.
Yeah, you're playing with fire.
Yeah,
right
you're rolling the most unluckiest dice ever.
I don't even know. We do have a story about a skinwalker, I should say, encounter that we're going to read with you guys. This is from Reddit, and this guy that submitted the story, his name was Navajo Joe. That's my dad's nickname for his truck. I don't know why, but we'll go with it.
Take it.
After collecting firewood, Joe, who was a child at the time, and his uncle got back in their pickup truck to head home. Joe felt something staring at him from outside his passenger window. As he was about to look out behind him, his uncle shouted to him, "Don't!" Instantly, there was a tapping on the window behind him. While the two continued their frightful journey home, the pickup truck suddenly dipped down in the back as if something heavy had climbed in the truck's bed. All while, the uncle kept repeating Navajo prayers and commanding Joe not to look behind him. Suddenly, the creature that climbed into the truck bed started tapping at the rear window. The tapping went on for a while until they finally felt the creature jump out. A few years later, Joe confronted his uncle about the events that transpired that night. The uncle confessed to him, "I didn't see faces, just eyes. It watched you."
Shit.
Uncomfortable with his uncle's answer, Joe jokingly asked his uncle why he didn't just brake check the creature while it was in the truck bed. To this, the uncle eerily replied, "Because it wasn't alone."
Woo.
God damn.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
That's a shapeshifter for you right there. Or a skinwalker. Skinwalker. Sometimes when I get out of the shower, I pinch my sack and pull it out really far, and I'm like, hey, look at my skinwalker, and I shake it in the mirror, kind of being nasty.
Yeah.
Being a dirty 30-year-old, just
giving your wife the bat.
The goat.
The goat, yeah, that's it.
I push it out the back and bend over for it. Make my knees touch my elbows. She likes it with her face crammed in the pillow.
Song lyrics.
2000s rap.
Right.
Get down with it. The shapeshifters, when they do turn into an animal, this is the weird thing about them.
Because nothing else is weird about them.
Completely normal. We're not here to cast judgment.
Yeah.
But when a shapeshifter takes on the form of an animal, they have very human-like characteristics. And this is where it gets kinky. When they turn into a human, when they're in the human form, they take on very animal characteristics.
Okay.
I've seen some real dogs at the club before, okay? But I don't think that's what we're talking about here.
Maybe it was. Who's to say?
I went to middle school with a kid that looked like a raccoon. He might have been a skinwalker.
Considering we went to the same middle school, I'd say that...
Actually, he was a possum. He looked more like a possum.
Okay.
And I did see a meme on Facebook this week about possums that said, we are just here to sleep and eat and chase out varmints and rabbits. Please don't hurt us. We are trying to be warm and not die just like you.
Poor things.
Facebook is really good about making you
touch
feel
you in
bad,
the feels.
making you feel bad about anything.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching the commercial and the fucking dogs are, balled up in the corner and Sarah McLaughlin's like, and the dog's got one leg, and I'm just like, you got to let him go. He's gone. Then at the end of the TV commercial, for $17 a day, you can save this dog's leg. Sign me up, please. I want to save the possums, too. Please, God, take all my money. Because there's nothing I love more than reoccurring charges on my checking account.
Yeah. It's
my most favorite thing ever.
It's always low cost until you sign up for 14 of these fucking things. Yeah. And then
got $28 to last me 3 days. I can do this. Fucking Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't think so, motherfucker. I got you. About to get you for 13. Yeah, Netflix prices just went up.
Yeah, saw that.
Sons of bitches.
Yep.
I'll pay it.
Screw it. It's worth it.
Yeah, but the ranch is located near Duchesne, Fort Duchesne. Fort Duchesne, about 150 miles from Salt Lake City, Utah, in Bottle Hollow. They call it Bottle Hollow because back during the war times, all the soldiers would throw their glass bottles down in the reservoir, resulting in a bunch of bottles. And no one could think of a good name, so they said, we're going to call it Bottle Hollow.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Makes perfect sense. And from this reservoir, which is part of this whole entire land of the Skinwalker Ranch, back in the 1800s, there were stories of serpents and snakes that people would walk. People were getting attacked by this large serpent, like 4 or 5 different large serpents in the water, and they would kill you, drag you underwater. You would never come back.
Darn.
Right. But this area was also a lawless area. There was lots of brothels and miners, kind of cowboys coming and going.
All right.
And anytime you have stuff like that, there's going to be, residual hauntings, residual paranormal type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would think.
You would assume.
I have to believe that Doc Holliday is still walking around somewhere in Tombstone, Arizona, just waiting, just wishing a motherfucker would,
Yep.
Ready to gun battle. When I was doing my research, there were 2 different names of the people that bought the ranch when all the shit started. It was the Gormans, but more oftentimes referred to were the Shermans.
Yeah, I think from what I remember, I think the Gormans had it like around like 94.
I couldn't nail it down. I kept looking and looking, and I couldn't.
For some reason, I want to say it was like 94 to 97. I might be wrong.
Okay.
But
I
think there may have been 2 different families that owned it in the 90s, and that's where a lot of the...
They're Mormons.
Yeah.
Those fucking swingers.
Right. Who would want 14 wives?
I got my hands full with one.
Shit.
She went to the grocery store today for 1 week and spent enough money to save a village in Africa.
Oh yeah, that's what happens.
And she's like, "But look at these frozen pizzas I got. Like, oh, those fucking can we fucking hook those up to the house and power the fucking lights with the frozen pizzas? Can we do that? The frozen these Tostitos.
Can these pizzas pay for my shower?
They say it's Tostitos, but it's Totinos. Did you know that? I think that was part of our.
No,
you're right. You think it's Tostitos pizza rolls?
Yeah,
it's Totinos.
That's bullshit.
Fucking look it up. I'm not
Mandela effect.
I'm not a fucking liar.
Fuck.
Yeah. So we're gonna go on with the wolf story now.
Oh, okay.
Of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
This was the original story that started all the shit of this bionic dickhead wolf. Do you have it pulled up over there where you're at?
I do. I'm getting to it right now.
All right, we'll let you.
This is the first, like an actual on the site.
This is the first encounter.
Yeah, this is the big dog here.
But don't think this is just narrowed down to only a wolf encounter, because this ranch had so much stuff going on between UFOs, Bigfoots, wolves, aliens, ghosts. It had it all.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of fishy stuff going on here.
Make sure you stick around for all of it.
Yeah. This is regarding my time spent on the Gorman Ranch, aka the Skinwalker Ranch,
also known as the Sherman Ranch.
Yeah, exactly. There's a bunch of different names for it. In the Uinta Basin in Utah from 2003 to 2005, I worked with a team from an independent company who was working with the National Institute of Discovery Science, aka NIDS, team that had already been there for a while. Before I get into my experience there, I should provide a backstory for those who are unfamiliar with the events surrounding this place. Just an FYI, many of the names will not be real names, as the majority of those involved wanted to remain anonymous. Back in the mid-90s, I believe it was 94 to 97, the Gorman family purchased a large ranch in the Uinta Basin in Utah in order to set up a ranch for their prized cattle.
Prized Angus cattle.
They had moved from out of state, New Mexico, I believe, but I can't exactly remember, and brought the cattle with them. From day one on the ranch, they experienced several oddities that would eventually cause them to sell the ranch. On the first day there, they were getting the first load of cattle in the pen, and they saw a large wolf in the distance. This was strange because there really aren't wolves in that region.
Right.
Top-notch sound effects here. Yep. This was made all the stranger in that the wolf approached them and acted like a tame dog, even allowing them to pet it. Then
I spoke with a child involved. He's an adult now. I called him, and he said when they were petting the dog, they were scratching his butt really hard. The wolf, they were scratching, and his red rocket came out. A really big one. This wolf was hung like a fucking prized racing horse.
He remembers that from a child, and it must have been impressive.
Like, hey, what is? Oh no!
I see your lipstick.
What's that? Maybe it's Maybelline.
Then, out of nowhere, the wolf lunged at one of the calves in the pen that stuck its head out between the bars. Tom Gorman, the father, grabbed his rifle and fired at the wolf. The wolf let the calf go and just stood there looking at the Gorman family before running away.
Well, the story I got, there was kind of different accounts, but the story I got, he originally grabbed a .357 Magnum, which is a handgun, and he shot this fucking thing 3 times, okay?
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't hurt.
Yeah, it did not bleed.
It didn't bleed.
Yeah.
It let go of the calf.
Right.
Which, at that point, he's already committed to having the fucking most delicious ribeye of his entire life. Why not go all the way? But he shot him with he shot him with the Magnum twice. The wolf was unfazed. So then he had his dad run and grab a 30-06.
Yeah.
And then he shot him twice with that. The first time, fur and flesh flew off the wolf. And he's kind of like...
That's the wolf was like, yeah, this isn't too friendly of a welcoming of an environment. I better leave.
I'd like to think that the wolf probably had an English accent, for one, for starters. And he's like,
shite!
Yeah, what the fuck is going on here? When he shot him, the fur flew, the flesh flew off, and he shot him again, and more fur and more flesh flew off. And the wolf was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
And he turned around, and he didn't walk away, and he didn't sprint away. He just kind of
trotted.
He just kind of loped, kind of
Yeah.
And they decided...
They tried to track him too, didn't they?
They did try and track him. But the problem was when they tracked him, there was no blood. And they said they were master trackers. Not masturbators, they were master trackers. Master trappers, master trackers. Not masturbators.
And no like evidence whatsoever of the
blood. That's
of
how
it being injured or anything.
Normally, I have friends that hunt.
Yeah.
I only hunt like Funyuns and Doritos. I don't really hunt animals.
They don't put up much of a fight.
No, they don't. They just lay there and take it. Just like I do.
They know what their life's become.
My wife just throws me down, and I'm just like, I'm going to lay here and take it. I'm just going to lay here and take it. And I would like to go on record now and say, if my wife ever comes out with allegations of me sexually harassing her, I hope the podcast doesn't go under. I've been really aggressive over the years with her. Hopefully, she knows that it was all in good fun. Hopefully, she's not one of the ones that comes out.
Yeah, well, you'll hear it first from us.
we'll break it on our Instagram.
Yeah.
The thing was, when the wolf, they had a constant visual on this wolf, and it just vanished in midair. It just kind of, they said it floated off like a dust.
Very bizarre.
Angel dust. Like pixie heroin type of drug.
Cool drug reference there.
Yeah. So that's the first occurrence, I should say, anomaly, oddity, the first fucked up thing that happened here.
Yep.
And the wolf is a very popular, I should say, thing for the skinwalkers to turn into, because a wolf is strong.
It's wild. People don't really fuck with it.
If I were an Indian, my name would be Wild Wolf. Or Eagle Eye. I'm not sure.
Eagle Eye Cherry?
Eagle Eye Cherry, yeah. There's a 1990s reference for you right there.
What up?
Yeah. But next we have poltergeists.
Poltergeist.
They had a lot of problems with poltergeists.
All right.
And before we get to the poltergeists, there were some odd things about the ranch. They had huge, thick iron stakes. They weren't driven into the ground. They were fucking mounted to the ground, okay? They were all over the outside of the house, and it appeared they were used to chain up really large dogs. Not normal dogs, because a normal dog doesn't just fucking rip like wrought iron steel out of the ground.
Yeah.
These are really big dogs. So the thinking is the family that lived there before them possibly had these large animals chained up outside. Not the bionic wolves, but just huge, nasty dogs in general, to keep evil away, to keep something they knew was out there away. Whether that was the aliens, whether that was the skinwalkers hunting, I guess. They used the large animals for protection. There was also a report that every door in the house, whether it be a closet, a large pantry, the front door and the back door, they all had locks on the inside and the outside of the door. So if you needed to hide in a panic, you could hop in a closet and deadbolt yourself into the closet.
Sweet.
Or if you're, near the pantry and you need to hop in there real quick, you could lock yourself in the pantry. But the windows were the same way. There was locks on the outside and the inside. So it seems to me that there was something going on that the family before them from the 1930s knew about.
Okay.
And that goes along with the local Native Americans that said for decades they have known not to fuck with this place, not to go around it, stay away from it. I think that's not a bad idea to put locks on the inside and the outside of a door if you have a large...
If you got a place like this, yeah, definitely not.
But the poltergeist, there was a lot of poltergeist activity that the family spoke very candidly about. I think they were on Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about my job is I leave for work at 2:30 a.m., so I am right in the fucking wheelhouse of Coast to Coast AM. I turn it on. I still got sleep in my eyes. My morning wood still hasn't gone away. And these people are like, I I was parked at an intersection and something big fell out of the sky and it landed on top of my Chevette and it got me out.
Chevette.
And it ate me out from behind. And I don't know what it was. I don't know why. I gotta go. It's just stuff like that all night long on
Love it.
Coast to Coast. There was also a guy this week on Coast to Coast completely convinced that the government is using insects to listen to us.
Oh, okay.
All the bugs. Because we have talked about it before in our government experiments episode where they will infect a large population of bugs, send them out to infect a large population of people. So if they can, make these bugs carriers of these nasty illnesses, why can't they make them carriers of little hearing devices?
Yeah. Gives a new meaning to the word bug.
Exactly. And this guy that runs the show, what's his name? George Norrie? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He just completely buys into it. He's like, yeah, I could see why someone would think that. Completely plausible. You're not crazy. So these people get off the phone like, I'm glad someone believes me.
They feel justified.
They do. And it just completely intensifies their fucking crazy blind rage.
Even more shit storm of shit.
But in interviews with the mother and the father, the Shermans, a.k.a. the Gormans maybe, but I'm going to call them the Shermans. The mother said she would often unpack groceries, and this just wasn't one occasion. She would unpack groceries, she would leave, and she would come back, and all the groceries would be completely packed up, back in their grocery bags, up on the table.
Send me that poltergeist to my fucking house.
Well, that's kind of the... I oftentimes get sidetracked while I'm putting away groceries. So for someone to just come along and be like, fuck it, you're starting over, I would be really pissed off because it takes me days to put away groceries. I think there's crackers on my table that have been there since I was since I got my driver's license. There's always like the one thing you never put up. Like for the kids, they always put peanut butter on crackers, and there's always a fucking jar of peanut butter. It doesn't matter where I'm at in the house. I'm within arm's reach of peanut butter.
That's the best.
Right.
I love that.
My dogs love peanut butter.
There's a joke there.
No, there's not, Rob. Why would you say that?
My mind just goes right there.
And she also said that the poltergeist would put random items. They would hide these items all over the house. She would find the hairbrush in the freezer. She would find like the remote in the microwave.
All right.
Just all kinds of weird. But if you think back to our friends Dale Dobeck and Brennan Huff, when they sleepwalk.
That's what I was going to say. It's just sleepwalking.
There are couch cushions in the oven. It's my purse in the refrigerator.
It's my purse in the refrigerator.
Call me Nighthawk. Such a good movie. And this is kind of creepy. She would hear unrecognizable language in a mocking tone all the time.
Me. Me.
Yeah. It's an Indian. How does an Indian mock you? No, boo boo. Foo. Bull come. Have you ever heard that bull come joke before?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm going to go off track a little bit here for just a second.
Okay.
There was a pack of explorers and they encountered an Indian and they wanted to know what kind of animals had been coming through the area. So they asked the local Indian and he put his ear on the ground and he said, "Bull, come." And they said, "How do you know?" And he said, "Ear sticky." My dad told me that when I was like 9. It's the kind of shit I had to deal with growing up.
You were doomed from the beginning.
I had no fucking chance.
You had no hope.
Oh, God. So I'll let you cover the orbs. The fucking flying butt plugs.
I gotta have to top the bull joke. So from here we're gonna go into blue orbs. The father set 3 dogs on the orb. So this is who are we talking about here? This is
Cooter. Father.
But is this is Sherman still?
Yeah, Terry Sherman.
Right.
I think the Shermans and the Gormans are the same thing.
Okay.
In my brain, that's how it's set.
Okay.
Might be different for you, but
I see it 2 different, but who knows? So the father sets 3 dogs on the orbs, which ducked away from them each time they approached, leading the animals further and further away from the ranch. Now, once they are out of sight of the ranch, the ranchers heard the dogs yelp. But they didn't pursue them because they kind of already seen what was going on there, so they were scared.
He didn't chase after the dogs. The dogs chased the orb, but he didn't chase after the dogs for fear of having the shit pushed in once he found out what the dogs were chasing.
Yeah, right. Now, in the morning, the rancher went to investigate and found 3 circles of burnt grass with goo in the middle.
This is so fucking gross.
And supposedly, that was all that had remained of the dogs.
And during my research, I learned that it was also explained as a dog butter.
I just about did a spit take with my beer.
Dog butter. After a long summer day of playing basketball in the hood, sometimes I'll get nut butter. Okay. But we're talking about dog butter right now. The dogs were turned into a
paste.
Yeah. They were just melted down. And there was...
Speaking of dogs and peanut butter.
Yeah. Hey, I asked you nicely once. There was reoccurring instances of crop circles throughout this place.
Okay.
And I don't buy into crop circles.
Not at all.
Because a guy with a fucking flat board can do a crop circle in a night. And they've proven that. They look like shit when they're done. They're out of breath. They're ready for a nap. Can be done.
Definitely.
Undoubtedly. But...
Speaking of crop circles...
The meat of the Skinwalker Ranch.
The meat and potatoes.
They have and I'll touch on this later, there's a probability chart on skinwalkerranch.org.
I have that pulled up now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they give you a percentage probability of the shit that you will encounter at this ranch while you're there.
Yeah.
Topping the lists are UFO-like experiences.
Right. The spotlight is what they call it.
The eye in the sky.
Yeah.
A lot of people claim to see a spotlight that travels the property between 10 and 40 miles per hour, depending upon what kind of gas mileage they're trying to get that night, hovering about 8 feet off the ground. It handles all the terrain without incident, which leads to they can't actually get physical confirmation that this is an aircraft, so they have to kind of just guess that the way it handles the terrain, the way it floats over all the terrain, and it causes the vehicle to not slow down, to not stop. This is an aerial device of some type. It's only, like it said, 8 feet off the ground. It's also a lot of reports of a flashing drone, possibly an orb. But the one thing that I read about that is really cool, there's a invisible self-cloaking chopper. So it looks like it doesn't have like a cockpit. It's just a star that spins in the sky. It just looks like the propellers or the chopper of a helicopter.
Are you talking about the controllers?
No.
Okay.
This is it's just like a spinning, like the top of a helicopter. It just spins, but you can't see it because it's got the invisibility cloak. It's like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And you cannot get eyes on it.
Well, that's crazy.
So there's the thought that you are dealing with another race, okay, and it's the belief is that they're an exceptionally advanced race, which is not uncommon with aliens.
Okay.
So yeah, the aliens are just they're dickheads.
All in all.
All in all. And next are the controllers.
Yeah, I mentioned the controllers a little bit.
The controllers.
So
I'm talking like this because they're the voice in the sky.
Yeah. It sounds like two adults speaking to one another in like an unknown language. It says that these two males are typically invisible and usually overheard speaking about 20 feet above one's head.
Yeah, they're like a god, like a god, like an overhead god figure.
Right. It says they're speaking in a Native American dialect. The assumption is they're speaking about the individuals below them. They sound as if they're speaking through a walkie-talkie or a voice, or like a voice that would sound what it would sound like coming through a radio.
Got a niner in there? Are you using a walkie-talkie?
sounds like there is a mechanical medium through with this what the speaker admits. And there are some stories of other witnesses who have seen the visible versions of these two, and they were described as human in their appearance. They made no attempt to directly communicate with the witnesses, and even their conversations may have accidentally been overheard. Once recognized, though, the speech they'll completely disengage and peace out.
They're like kids that you've told to shut the hell up 20 times.
Yeah.
And you go into the room and they just roll over and stick their face in the mattress. Kind of like I've had to do about 7 times tonight.
Yeah, it says here if you go there, you'll have a 15% chance of hearing them and a 1.3 chance of seeing them.
That's pretty wicked.
That's pretty cool. The picture that they use for him is pretty cool because it looks like a person that's pretty much riding in a spaceship that looks like a star.
God.
It's kind of cool.
It's like the angel of death.
Yeah.
And next is the Dark One.
It's racist.
The Undertaker.
Right.
From WWF lore. He'll choke slam you.
Straight to hell.
Yes. No, the Dark One, he's the rarest of the entities.
0.03% chance of seeing him.
Right. So he's the lottery odds.
Yeah, he's
You're not going to make your million off the Dark One here.
This is your white whale.
All the past residents have spoken of him, as well as the current researchers that live there. I can't remember if the ranch is still a research facility. It's still closed and quarantined off. We'll get into all that later. But the Dark One, he seems... The picture they use on the website is just a regular old Native American. Just like a feather on his headband, big nose, wrinkly tan. The people that have seen him, though, they said that he seems out of place. And by out of place, they say he exhibits the nature of an alien. And I think that's kind of what they mean. Not an alien as an extraterrestrial, but just someone that is not from here, from this time, I should say. Yeah,
that's what it says. It says that he does not speak and appears to be residing outside of our known timeline. And even appears surprised at times.
Yeah, and when they do see him, he's alone, and he appears to be a primitive Native American, possibly Fremont or Pueblo, possibly Aztec in origin. He does not speak, but like you said, he appears to be out of his timeline. He's confused and surprised.
It says here also that they think that he could possibly he could serve as like a gatekeeper to all the phenomena and the portals.
Right. So that's the one thing I want to get to. The biggest thing about this ranch is there are floating portals that they observe. One is orange, one is blue, one is for specific vehicles. Okay, like these UFOs they see all over the property. And I can't remember which color goes with which color, but I think it's orange. The vehicles only come out of the orange portals, but as far as the blue portals, that's where you have the passing beings, like the...
just like the game portal.
Sure. You have the Bigfoots, you've got the shapeshifters, you've got all of those passing in and out of these portals.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that believe that this ranch is actually on an interdimensional portal as well, which we have a little bit on later.
Yeah. But this guy here, they say he is the gatekeeper. They've also said that he's kind of, I don't know, he was the origin. He was the original one that opened up the portal.
Yeah.
And it's still open to this day, and he's just essentially stuck in time. So there's the ideology that there's only one portal. He's the one that fucked up in the other universe. He's opened the portal. Now he can't get back, but all this stuff can pass through in and out. But he's kind of too confused to pass back through, which would not make him a very intelligent race. So, in terms of this possibly being an interdimensional portal, I should say, there were some Redditors that brought up the discrepancies they saw as far as this being a portal. Part of their argument is one problem with many of these narratives explaining odd creatures is the dissonance between technological ability and practice. If these creatures were able to break or bend the laws of physics to travel space in ways humans can only theorize about, why would they be interested in mutilation, taking and removing cattle, dogs, humans, etc., especially in the vast amounts attributed to them. We haven't covered it yet, but a lot of the things people report are excessive cattle mutilations. So this guy, Terry Sherman, that owned the ranch, he had, so it's to be expected to lose 1% of your livestock when you are a farmer every year. He was losing in excess of 20% of his livestock every year due to mutilations, not just fucking
natural causes,
falling over and dying.
Yeah,
these things were being mutilated, and on several instances, he would find them, and they would have certain things done to them, and we'll cover it later, because I don't want to cover it without my notes in front of my face here, that can't be explained as earthly. Also, the Redditor went on to point out that they should have mastered biology by now. How many cows does it take to see what makes one tick?
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. If they need a continuous supply to do, these supposedly enlightened beings really lack the ability for animal husbandry. These are the signs of an intelligent and wise race, so much as a parasite or sociopath. Maybe that's what they are. Maybe this is a group of interdimensional traveling serial killers. And we would have everyone in the true crime world listening to that episode, because who would not want to know about fucking time traveling sociopath alien serial killers?
Hell yeah. Sign me up.
That's a little much right there for me. Concentrations in certain areas, especially remaining in the same place for decades, even after drawing attention to it by the public, rather than move on to one less suspect. Why? You can make a portal between worlds of dimensions, but you can't change the location. These seem odd constraints, which are very, very valid, I would have to say.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's the thing about interdimensional portals and aliens. We have no fucking clue what they're doing.
Do not. Wish we did.
I know, and we would be millionaires if we did. That's all right.
We would.
I'll stick with my minimum wage job in podcasting.
Minimum wage job. Next, we get into water babies.
Oh no!
And this entity inhabits the surrounding waterways. Now, they mimic the sounds of a crying baby.
Was that good?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was me. That was not YouTube.
It was not a baby. Don't worry. When the person goes to investigate, they actually are dragged underwater and killed by this little humanoid water baby.
There's a bunch of the pictures online. It's a bunch of fucking dead baby, like zombie babies floating in the water, and someone just like peeking over, looking in the water, and all these babies.
Terrifying.
Have you seen that YouTube prank where they like the little bassinet on wheels? The
stroller, yeah, with the demon baby.
He sits up, he starts spitting. That's what I think of these water babies as.
Except it looks like these things have long hair.
Yeah,
they're the size of a small child.
Oh my god! Of all the shit we've talked about, this is by far the most unnerving, because
yeah,
if you hear a baby crying in the woods,
your natural response is going to be, to go see what's going on and help.
Yeah. Then you get there, and there's these little fucking devil babies.
Yeah, just pulling your ass into the water.
Get in here. It's time for a baby fucking. Gives new meaning to, he had a penis that looked like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Aw.
You ever heard that before?
No, I haven't.
It's sad.
That is really sad. I guess it's good that I haven't heard that.
Right. It just means a really, really big penis.
Yeah.
And in terms of penises, I went to the local Hustler store last night because that's what I like to do in my spare time.
Yeah.
I swear to God, there was a rubber dick there that was as big around as a fucking Folgers coffee can.
Ooh.
And came up to slightly above my kneecap. If you are a Brohio listener and you could fit this inside of you, we would like to dedicate an entire episode to you.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I want to pray for you. I want to pray for your organs. I just want to take you in my arms and hold you.
It makes my vagina hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah, it makes both of mine hurt. And usually the doctor said I shouldn't have feeling in the second one.
Yeah.
there are some incredibly frightening things in that place. I'm usually just the guy that says, hey, I'm down for whatever. Not in the instance of the Hustler store. There is some shit that you chain to your wiener that goes behind you and then to the side of you like tentacles, and you can just destroy some shit.
Yeah, that's scary.
And then you're sitting there looking at this stuff, and then some like 20-year-old girl walks up and like, is there anything I can help you find? Yeah, I'm going to need some fucking Band-Aids and gauze if I use this motherfucker right here.
Yeah, where's the fuck's the exit?
Yeah. Where's the diapers that catch all the fucking blood clots in your ass? Oh my God, I'm never going back. Next, at the Nutsack Walking Ranch, the sentient mist. Now, this is the most malevolent of all the things we speak of. It's described by researchers as a neurological electricity. It is completely black in color, and it takes the form of thick black smoke or smog. It's described as a disembodied skin of black electrified energy that possesses an intellect. So this floating smog or smoke, it may just appear as like a black mist or dust, but it actually has intellect. It has a brain, it knows what it's doing, it knows where it's going, and it has an intention. It's said to be the manifestation of something malevolent. Several witnesses have seen it morph into a humanoid with tentacles.
Oh, shit.
And later on, there was research added.
Slendy, baby.
Yeah, it's described as having tentacles, which it uses to toxify its victims by inserting via the mouth and thereby suffocating the lungs with what feels like burning dust.
It's the shadow monster.
This immediately transports the victim into the spirit world. I want to go there.
This is fucking Stranger Things right here.
Another region, the devoid space between Earth and the heavens. This sounds just like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And this makes a lot of sense. It could be all of these different things across the ranch. You know, you got the aliens, the Bigfoots, the wolves, and there was the account that the one wolf they shot, it just floated off into the air. Okay,
right.
When they are transversing the dimensions and they're coming in and out of the portals, it's using all of their energy. So they have to sit in a dormant state once they come into our universe. And when they sit in this dormant state, they're taking on this black mist, which, I mean, I'm not a fucking time traveler. I'm a father of 3. I'm excellent at preparing cinnamon toast.
Oh.
Cereal.
A cinnamon toast crunch, yeah.
I do fucking frozen pizzas. I can do macaroni and cheese, but I am not a time traveler. I'm not an alien expert.
I'd like to add that to my resume, though.
The macaroni and cheese thing?
No, the time traveler. Macaroni and cheese I'll add to my resume, too.
That's all right.
I'll take it.
I love macaroni and cheese. It's because I'm American. And we kind of edit as we go, and we stop and start. And while we just took a pee break, I learned that I can make really cool UFO sounds with my mouth.
Yeah, show everybody.
I'm going to do one. This is coming from over the horizon. Can't see it, but it's coming. There's a hill in the way. So hold on. Did you get that?
Yeah, we got it.
That was a UFO. Real life UFO.
Soundbite that.
Speaking of UFOs, we got an interview with Terry Sherman. He's the guy that shot the fucking wolf.
Yeah.
Terry said...
Papa Terry.
Yeah. He said there was consistent cattle mutilations. I mutilate cows every time I go to a steakhouse.
Yes, bring it.
There's nothing like a ribeye with a piece of butter on top of it after it's been fucking cooked. And for all you sons of bitches out there that put A1 steak sauce on your steaks...
It's one thing if you're going to the Golden Corral. I mean,
no. $14.99. You can't really beat it.
That's that Aldi steak.
Steak, yeah. Cat meat.
Yeah.
Why's my steak?
Asshole.
Why's my steak green? No comprende. Our Golden Corrals around here, it's completely staffed by Hispanics. I don't know about your local Golden Corrals.
Yeah.
Hispanic only.
That banana pudding is fucking banging, though.
Yeah.
And their macaroni.
The gummy bears can be used as a weapon because they're so old. They're like little fucking shotgun balls.
You can't ever enjoy the chocolate fountain because you see the kids that are like triple dipping in that motherfucker.
There's a woman changing her fucking kid's diaper in the chocolate fountain. You know, when you're done eating all them jalapeno biscuits, we got a chocolate wonder fountain over here. There was a woman that dropped her teeth in the fountain earlier, but we got her all cleaned out, scrubbed down. Terry said there were consistent cattle mutilations. They are all found with no trauma except a hole in their left eyeballs.
That's kind of considered trauma.
Oh, it gets better. Terry said, we got to figure this shit out, man. So he took a wire and he ran it through their eyeballs, and the wire wouldn't stop until it got to the area of the brain where it felt like the skull was hollowed out. Which I am not a scientist.
Damn cattle has termites.
Termites.
This place is full of termites.
But like I said, I am not a scientist, and I do believe it takes a very steady hand and scientific knowledge to get your scrotum completely shaved bare. That's for another episode.
I'm
but
an expert.
I think he was getting they were sucking the brains out through the eyeball.
Yeah.
That's what my Brohio research says. Okay.
Brain smoothie.
Yeah. And there was an overwhelming chemical smell upon finding all of these cattle mutilations. Preceding these mutilations were sightings of UFO-type aircraft hovering over the mutilation areas. The same time, cows were vanishing left and right with no answers. One instance, he followed cow prints in the snow.
Cow prints.
Cow prints.
I like that.
Cow's my wife. She's in the house. She's being frigid. I said, I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna fuck me one of these bovines. And I looked over, and my favorite girl, Bessie, she was gone. And I said, I'm gonna follow her footprints.
He followed the footprints of the cow. When he reached the end of the footprints, the cow was gone. The footprints led nowhere.
Oh.
It was up on a hill near a tree. So the footprints went to the tree and they stopped. But there was a lot of debris on top of the fresh snow. When I say debris, I mean leaves and sticks, where it looked like a fucking cow had been sucked up through the tree.
Holy shit.
So when the cow went up through the tree, all the trees and branches fell to the ground. Oh, I have to think, if this is a true account, you would have to assume that the aliens were abducting the cows as well.
Yeah, I would say that's safe to say.
Heavy shit.
Yeah.
During the next few months, the Shermans observed a variety of craft, with quotations, and the mutilation activity continued. The most spectacular aerial phenomenon they observed was described by Terry. We would see these 100-foot circular openings appearing in the air. It was like 4 orange-colored doorways, a wood color, with a spiral open. They would spiral open, I'm sorry. Looking through a high-powered scope, the Shermans watched as a smaller craft would emerge from the hovering portals, fly around the property, and then re-enter the doorways. The Shermans described the stealthy smaller craft as being about 60 by 40 feet and squarish with short wings. The smaller craft looked like they were flying a grid. They also appeared to emit spikes of light which hit the ground. The Shermans thought this to be some sort of navigational system. In a rare occurrence, the Sherman's son, this is my favorite part of the entire fucking thing. The son found a mutilated cow within 5 minutes of its death. The young man had seen the gentle Angus, and when I first read this, I thought it said gentle anus. That's sounds like a Pornhub search term. Gentle anus. I'm not gonna like what that comes back with. Some people would. I don't think I would.
Yeah, I'm good.
I like to think I have a gentle anus, like a delicate flower, and I don't want it tampered with.
Pretty in pink.
No. Mine hasn't been pink since I came out of the hole.
Get you good old shit stained pooper.
Yeah. And if anyone listening bleaches assholes or has their asshole bleached, we would like to interview you. Is that even a real thing? Can you get your asshole bleached
or your ass crack waxed? Because I need to look into that.
Yeah, I am bald. I have no hair anywhere. My ass, I have.
You got the ass mohawk.
It's like I'm harboring like fucking refugees in my ass, like from Saudi Arabia. Just hairy, all kinds of nasty. The Sherman's son found a mutilated cow within 5 minutes of its death. The young man had seen the gentle Angus eating peacefully and returned moments later to find it dead. The cow's rectum had been cored out with a 6-inch wide hole that was 8 inches deep. I can immediately be eliminated as a suspect. 6 inches wide, 8 inches deep. I would have to imagine that was some type of adult film star of some type. I think there is a man called Mr. Big that, Jesus Christ.
God, that wasn't a good day for that cow.
That was, I would think, so I have this thought in my head that there's one alien up there and they call him Thud or
Thud
Skull. And he's just got a howitzer hanging from his waist, just a bazooka. And sometimes Thud, he has to go out and play. And this cow was the victim.
Thud will be Thud.
This cow was the victim that night. He bored him out.
Poor guy.
Yeah. He was just
not Thud. Thud's lucky. That poor cow.
Thud's like, Thud.
So as a cattle herder, do you think once finding these mysteriously, murdered cattle, that do you think they would still use the meat?
Oh yeah, dude.
I was gonna say that'd be such a waste. That's just more meat for them to put in their fridge.
They said that these were prized Angus cattle,
right?
So that's the good shit. These ain't McDouble cows. These are fucking.
That's cardboard.
These are USDA ribeyes.
They have the USDA stamp right on their ass.
This ain't the fucking Walmart sirloins. All right.
Yeah.
During his final days, Sherman had a naval intel officer show up from North Carolina that wanted to be briefed on the issues he had there. So it was already circulating through the government what was happening there. And he was he was being interviewed by different governmental agencies.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a white Jeep that would come on the property.
Mysteriously white car, as always.
And it would be a white Jeep every time. But each time, the Jeep would have different license plates. It would drive everywhere. He did eventually find out that it was an Air Force Special Investigations officer. So that sounds like some Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith shit.
Yep. It's always a white vehicle. Like Area 51 up on the hill, it's always a white truck.
And I don't have it in my notes here, but one day, he and his son were outside, and they had a gentleman show up, and he said that he was coming to the property because he had concern for the land, and that he just wanted to pray over the land and ask for peace. So Terry, I don't care what the fuck you do here. So they walked him out to the middle of the pasture, just the middle of the property, 480 acres. They walk him out towards the middle of fucking God knows where. And this guy moves forward about 100 yards in front of them, and they just kind of sit there and wait for him. This guy goes in the middle of the field, and he puts his arms straight out to the side in like a Christ-like, Christ the Redeemer, like a saint type thing, and he just looks up at this guy, and he starts praying, essentially. Terry's watching all this unfold, and he sees a fuzzy orb shoot from where we'll call him a priest or pastor.
Okay.
Shoot from the pastor into the tree line. So immediately he kind of goes into high alert, like, okay, I know what happens here. Something fucking bad's about to happen. Once this mist or ball darted into the woods, he heard a very distinct growl. A large, deep. I think that's what it sounded like.
Okay.
At that point, he's like, fuck, shit. And then this thing takes off, it rustles the trees, and it flies from the tree line back towards the priest and almost slams into him. And when it hits the pastor, he falls to the ground, knocks him over. And this thing is moving so fast and so fuzzy, they can't see it. It hits him. The growling continues, and it shoots back into the trees. And the priest, they run over to him, and he's like in shock. He can't breathe. He can't talk. He's just like clenched up. He looks like, he just got slimed by the pink goo.
Yeah. Thud got a hold of him.
Thud came down. Thud
gave him a pounding.
So they have to pick him up and carry him back to the beginning of the property. And he finally comes back to, and he says, I got to fucking leave. I want nothing to do with this place. This place is hexed. You have to get out of here. Run for your fucking lives. Yeah, that was one of the...
That's terrifying. I think I would have filled my pants full if that was...
But this was towards the end. They were already trying to unload this thing.
Yeah.
By that time. And on their last day at the ranch... I'll let you cover this one.
Okay. Yeah, the last day they woke up from, working the night before.
Yeah, they said that they were just fucking breaking their back trying to get this place ready for sale.
Yeah, and they saw that their bed was covered in blood, and there was about 1/8 of an inch of a scoop taken out of their thumbs. Okay. So let's...
Definitely sounds like some alien research shit right there.
Damn it, Linda, they done scooped my thumbs.
It's my doobie thumb.
You just fit a nice little bit of coke in there now and just fucking get you a couple hits.
And a quick bump.
Yeah, get a quick bump. That's where I was looking for. They were combated while trying to offload the ranch because they thought that there was so much doom associated with the ranch that there was general concern for whomever was going to take over.
But they did find someone to buy it.
Yeah.
His name was...
Millionaire.
He was I heard he's a billionaire.
Billionaire, okay.
Robert Bigelow. And he is not, should we say, he's not an infant in the UFO field. He was well known for his research and development in the UFO community. They were placed in contact with him, and Bigelow bought the ranch and made the couple sign a non-disclosure gag order. So they kept Mr. Sherman around to help out with the cattle that were left behind. He bought the ranch for like $200,000,
and which is chump change for a billionaire.
Well, I'm thinking about in terms of buying a ranch with 500 acres with it. That is
true.
$200,000 is chump change.
Literally nothing.
Right. So he bought the ranch for $200,000. There was a gag order and non-disclosure that they could not talk about anything that had occurred at the ranch over the years. Bigelow had recently formed the National Institute for Discovery Science, also known as NIDS.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, I think it's the same as lice, maybe?
Is that stuff that gets rid of NIDS?
I got the crotch NIDS.
Yeah. And now I want to kind of jump in here a little bit for my useless information. I have a lot of it stored up throughout the years.
I don't have much.
We're talking about Robert Bigelow and how millionaire versus billionaire. A lot of people don't really know. You understand that, $1 million and $1 billion is a lot of a difference. There's a big difference in between the two. If you really want to picture how big of a difference there is between the two, break it down into seconds. 1 million seconds. How long would you think that is? Just take a guess.
I can't even balance my checkbook.
1 million seconds, I believe, if I'm thinking right, it's around 11 days. Okay. So 1 billion seconds. Knowing that 1 million is 11 days, 1 billion seconds is 31 years.
That's pretty heavy shit.
So it's stupid stuff that I didn't have.
God.
Think about that. There's a huge difference between millionaire and billionaire.
It really is.
So how much was it that he spent on the land? 200,000?
200,000.
That's not shit
or if you're
for a billionaire.
If you're talking about minutes and days.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
It's stupid. Like it's crazy. God. 480 acres.
Yeah. And this guy, and I guess I'll keep on going with what I have here. He turned the ranch into a laboratory, a paranormal laboratory. They fenced it up. He hired government mercenaries like Blackwater type stuff to patrol the property, patrol the perimeter, and they built like an observatory guard tower. Now he did hire like a veterinarian and some scientists immediately, but there's a large staff now. Bigelow sent out 1,200 letters to local ranchers asking them to assist in reporting cattle mutilations. So imagine these fucking people that weren't dealing with cattle mutilations at the time. They're like, what the fuck?
1,200 letters.
Hey, all my chocolate milk cows are gonna fucking die.
One article said NIDS was a front for the CIA.
Okay, I can believe that.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
He hired a retired Army colonel named John Alexander. Alexander had left the post of director of non-lethal weapons testing at Los Alamos National Base.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. They said his resume was likened to a season of X-Files. And I went back and tried to read about John Alexander. Okay. This guy is... We don't have enough time for even a quarter of what this fucking guy has done. He's been on so many... He's on the chair of so many weird boards as far as like space study, encounters that can't be explained by the government. He's involved with everything, and he's on the staff at this lab, essentially this Skinwalker Ranch. It's a lab now.
That's pretty cool.
And speaking in terms of Mr. Bigelow, there's now a newer company called Bigelow Aerospace. It's a general and this is taken from their website. Bigelow Aerospace is a general contracting research and development company that concentrates on achieving economic breakthroughs and the costs associated with design, development, and construction of habitable space structures for private enterprise and government use. Now, the thing about Bigelow Aerospace is currently all UFO sightings reported to the government are now handled by Bigelow Aerospace. So the government doesn't really handle UFO sightings anymore. They're all funneled to Bigelow Aerospace.
Okay.
Completely fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And Bigelow Aerospace has also been given permission by the U.S. government to create weapons for space traveling vehicles.
Oh. They got permission to do it.
And that's the guy that brings you up to present day. That's the guy that currently owns Skinwalker Ranch. That is not accessible by the public. It's now a paranormal laboratory. And even to this day, people claim they see unidentified, not necessarily UFOs, but aircraft. There's constant flyovers by government choppers. There's constant flyovers by government jets. This ranch in Utah.
Utah.
So, what do you think about the Skinwalker Ranch?
That's worth checking out.
Yeah.
3 stars.
We're here for the tour. And we're gonna need some gauze for these bullet holes. Sorry we ran your fence over.
Tell Thud to leave us alone. Yeah, please.
Thud sent us.
Thud sent us. No, I think it's a really, really weird place.
It doesn't, for me, you and I have both said this before. We're curious people, but we're not crazy conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, we're not. I wouldn't ever say that I'm gung-ho believer.
Yeah.
I do believe that there are other life forms.
Yeah.
There has to be.
It's too vast out there.
But the chances of them, I think, visiting us are probably pretty slim to none.
We're stupid in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, we really are. We're very immature in the grand scheme of the universe.
We're killing one another. Why would they have to come here and kill us? We're kill each other before they can kill us.
And all aliens are horrible drivers, apparently, because they always crash.
Yeah. Here into Earth. Maybe they just come here drunk. We're like a bar.
We're the party, like
fucking giant galactic bar crawl.
We're the Las Vegas of the universe.
Yeah. They're like, we're going to America.
Woo!
But I think as far as Bigelow owning the ranch, everything that's been reported, and everything we know about Native Americans, how they're in touch with the universe, they're in touch with different powers.
Very spiritual.
They've said for decades, this specific area is fucked. And even to this day, with it being owned by a very well-to-do UFO researcher, someone that's been trusted by the U.S. government to fucking arm spaceships. I think that speaks volumes of what's going on here, what there is to learn about this place. And ultimately, I would like to know what the intentions are as far as what they're studying and what they plan to do with all of it.
It'd be nice to know.
We'll never know.
We will never know. Yeah.
That's our Skinwalker Ranch episode.
Yeah.
Go leave us a 1-star review on iTunes.
No, don't do that.
Leave us a 5-star. And make sure you
can check us out on Spotify too now.
Yeah, Spotify. Put in the review how much you like donkey punching.
Yeah,
us.
Thud. If you want to be visited by Thud, let us know. We'll try to make that happen.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up?
Men in Black.
Men in Black, Mibs.
Yeah.
We're trying actively to completely think out our episodes.
Yes.
so we kind of know what's going on beforehand now. But yeah, if you haven't already, and if you feel like we deserve it, our Patreon's there.
Right.
We'll have some cool stuff coming out to that. Hit us up on all the social doodads.
Dibbly doos.
Just keep doing what you're doing. We
All
appreciate
right.
you. We love you.
Thank
you, bros.